This is a non-movement practice, so you will be sitting still, lying down in a comfortable, non-moving position for the next 30 minutes. So, kind of think about that as you begin to set up your foundation. Posture is a huge component of the practice. Once the posture is set, I'll then turn or ask you to pay attention to really three things: concentration, so concentrating on or focusing on one thing. Sometimes we'll do some insights, various questions and things to kind of reflect upon, and then some gratitude, and kind of focus around the larger things that are the purposes that are larger than us. So yeah, it's kind of where I'll be pointing our direction specifically, or the general framework for how class will go. So, with that being said, taking a quick peek through the screens, y'all all look like you are getting settled in. So, that works for me. Okay. Once you kind of have acquired that foundation of a posture, take a breath in, check your breath, make sure you can actually breathe well and you have some stability to work with the breath. That's important. It's one of our concentration anchors. So, you want to be able to breathe well. And make sure your hands have a steady place that they can rest so they're not kind of fidgeting or distracting you from focusing. It's hard enough to focus. So we try to minimize the body's movements and distractions to keep us really engaged in the practice. And then our gaze is something that's important. I like to simply close my eyes, and you're welcome to do that too. Or you can kind of just lightly close the eyes just enough so you're not getting a bunch of visual distractions. And that kind of sets us into the posture and the foundation. This work we're doing here today is a reminder that our attention is kind of our gateway to our experience. That as we tune into the feelings and sensations and thoughts as they arise, we are given the opportunity to meet those with a bit of curiosity. In this way, we can reduce our stress and lower our anxiety and help with our mood swings. And that's what we'll be doing today. Simply trying to notice what goes unnoticed and discover the space between stimulus and response. So take a moment as you're sitting here with yourself, eyes closed, body starting to settle into practice, and take note of just what your general feeling tone is right now. What are you showing up to practice with in your body or on your mind? Noticing as you let that question kind of resonate where you feel or what you feel in your body, how you're breathing, just what happens when you take a step back and simply pay attention to what's here with you in this moment. Helps to be mindful and aware of how the stories get formed, and we start to, that little voice inside of us starts to say things. That's something to pay attention to as well, because it will follow you on this journey. Now we'll allow ourselves to anchor today into our breath. And the way we do that is really one of two ways. You can focus on the breath by noticing the point at which it originates, where it starts. If you're breathing in through the nose, it would be at the nose. If you're breathing in through the mouth, it'd be through the mouth. The other way I like to pay attention to my breath is to feel it moving in my body, expanding and contracting, using the breath as our anchor to ground and kind of hone our concentration. There is no wrong way to notice the way you're breathing. And the goal here is to simply hold the attention on the breath. And if you notice that you're not paying attention to your breathing, that is your mindfulness in action. Simply acknowledge that you're not paying attention to your breath and return the attention back to the breath. Noticing the pacing of your breathing and the tempo of it. There is a natural arising that happens as your breath comes in on its own naturally and you receive it. Then as you exhale and you share your exhale with the space and the environment you're in, it's a bit of gratitude to the fact that this doesn't require your conscious thinking to occur. It just happens and you receive it and you give it. We often say that our attention is like a spotlight, kind of moving through a dark space, a dark room. And that wherever you hold your attention, it illuminates, it brings the light, that which you're focused upon. And so, expanding on that metaphor a bit, imagine for a moment that there's a glowing yellow orb, yellow gold, but it's emanating this light in this dark space. And that light represents your attention. And we're going to use that light to kind of move through your body, scanning the body, like moving through floors or rooms of a home, letting our attention light each area of the space. We kind of notice what's there, what we feel, what's not there, any tension or pressure or comfortable or uncomfortable sensations. In this way, we're concentrating on the body the way you're concentrating on the breath. And so let's take our attention, our little light, and move that to the first floor, down to the base of our pelvis. This is kind of the first room that we enter in our home metaphor, which is our basement, our boiler room. It's the space where a lot of things expand from. Noticing any sensations that you might feel there. Your weight as you're sitting, or the angle at which you're sitting. Can you feel your breath here in this space? Beginning to move the attention into the next room, we move over to the right leg. In this metaphor of our body as a house, this would be our garage. Our right foot represents the idea that that's how most of us step into the world. It's how we move forward towards the things that we desire. So, noticing as you illuminate the right leg, any sensations you feel there, all the way from the foot back to the hip, textures and temperatures and weight. Allowing your attention and the light of your attention to move now from the right leg back through the pelvis, all the way over to the left side, into the left leg, into the laundry room that's here on the first floor. The part of us that has to be repeated, that there's a process, that what goes in comes out, and that there's repetitive work here to be done. Noticing the sensations, and in some cases, the absence of sensation as you scan and to see what's available and illuminate this part of the body. You might find it a little more difficult to notice. Just know that that's okay. Making our way kind of from the first floor, we're going to move up to the second floor and find ourselves at the center of your heart. This is your living room area. This is the space where all things kind of come together. Everything tends to move through the space of the heart. Here you'll find your breath. You can feel your heartbeat. You can feel tension if you're holding any in the chest, or its opposite. Paying attention to where your attention is lighting up a part of the mind right now. In the event that it kind of left the living room and went rogue, come on back and we'll continue our journey into the right arm, all the way from the shoulder to the hand. This part of our body in the metaphor is represented by our office. It's the hand that most of us kind of sign our deals with and bring things into fruition with. It's the hands that we shake and the um, promises that we make, where the work is done. Feel the weight of the arm, the pulsing in the fingers, the subtle aliveness moving through the body. Allowing our attention to move back through the heart as we move to the left arm, as we walk into the kitchen, the place that holds our love and our connection and the moments in which we nourish and feed ourselves and those we care for. Making our way now to our third floor of our home in this metaphor, letting our attention and our light begin to shine on the space on the right side of our face, our right eye, and just the subtleties of the entire right side of the head. This is the attic, the space where our dreams and possibilities sometimes end up, where we store things and allow things to be used at a different time. Noticing that as you move higher up the physical body, the sensations are much more subtle. Letting our attention move now to the left side of the body, the face. It's our bedroom. It's where our dreams come together. It's where we kind of contemplate ideas and hopes and wishes and find our comfort here. And finally, coming to our last room in the metaphor, we move our attention to our third eye, the space right between the right and left sides of the face, our observatory, the highest point in our journey, the space where everything kind of comes together and we look out upon the rest of the body and we can sense everything as a whole, allowing our light of our attention to move to whichever space needs it, allowing the metaphor of the light and the home to kind of take a back seat. Let the attention just soften to return back to the breath and just lightly hold the attention on the breath and consider how that practice landed for you. What worked, what didn't. Just be curious about the experience you had. Allowing yourself space for a bit of compassion and understanding. Right? We're not trying to be perfect. We're just trying to pay attention to the moment as it comes to us. And as you're here with your breath and your body and the carefulness of your attention, what what do you have that you can be grateful for right now? Oftentimes we think our gratitude must be attached to something grandiose, but this is a really broad brush that we can paint with. So allow yourself the space to reflect on one or multiple things that are of value to you, that you're deeply grateful for, that you're proud of. Remembering as we go to talk to ourselves like we would a good friend. The last minute or so of practice, notice the level of energy you're holding right now. There's a saying that where attention goes, energy flows. So pay attention to where your energy is. Slowly begin to move the hands, wiggle the toes, kind of send some signals to the body that we're going to be exiting the practice as we begin to close out tonight. Taking as much time as you need to let the eyes open and begin to take in the rest of your environment and kind of where practice landed for you.